So something very interesting, however troubling, is happening right now. And what we're going to discuss today is how a major U.S. city is on the verge of a collapse. Now, this is not just one city. The problem is that this one city that is kind of leading this collapse, well, this is happening all over the United States. This is happening over on the East Coast, over on the West Coast, and in between. So I'm going to explain what's going on, why more and more people are becoming concerned with what is happening today, but we've been seeing the warning signs for many months. It's only now starting to get worse. So I'm going to break all this down in just a moment, but all I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates, and now let's begin. So first off, what is going on? Why are we seeing some major U.S. cities on the verge of a collapse? Well, it has to do with a couple different things. The first thing is that the American people, not just in that city, but that spend money in that city where businesses are currently owned, well, the American people don't have a lot of money saved up. We have a decent amount of net worth, but the concern is the money is tied up in our real estate, in our personal homes. That's the problem. So even though we look like we're doing fairly well, people are saying, well, I just don't have money. I can't go and spend money. I can't travel. I can't do this and can't do that. Can't even pay my own bills. That's what they're saying. But here's the other one. Look at this. It says Chicago Business Activity Index weakens to lowest level in 4 years. This is the concern. The concern is that the business activity is dropping. If we see business activity drop, guess what? Employers are going to start to lay off employees. As employees get let go, they cannot afford to go to the grocery store and the movie theater and to go bowling and to buy a home. In many cases, they cannot even afford to stay up on top of their own bills. But look at this. Okay, I want to show you the number. Look at this right here. It says the index drops to 35.4, well below the 40.8 which was expected. Now, what you need to keep in mind is that if the number drops a little bit, it's not a big deal. But what is a big deal is that this is the 6th consecutive reading in contraction territory, where the reading continues to go down. Last month, okay, it was 37.9%. That's what it was in April. Okay? Then in May, it went to 35.4%. Well, they were expecting it to be at 40.8. That's a problem. Business activity is going down. Production is going down. Manufacturing is dropping. Well, when we look at this stuff, why is this so important? Well, it's important because it's bringing tax dollars into the city. These are cities like Chicago, New York, Denver, Seattle, Portland, Atlanta, right? San Diego, Los Angeles, okay? Houston, Dallas. The list goes on and on. But what you need to understand is that we also have another problem that is piling on with this one. As the American people stop spending money, these cities have to figure out a way to increase revenue or decrease expenses. Well, here's part of the problem with Chicago. The Chicago City Council approved $70 million more for migrant aid. This happened back in April, the end of April. Well, guess what? $70 million more in migrant assistance, but yet revenue for the city is going down. How do they make up for this? Well, this is where they see cuts. You see cuts to other essential programs. We've seen this before. And I want to show you this one as well, because New York and Chicago, they were pressing the federal government and the Biden administration for migrant funding flexibility or just additional funding. They've been asking for this for many months. Okay? Many months. This happened back in, I think, October, November, that many cities, many states were asking for additional funding to help them with what they were calling at the time a migrant crisis. Now, they don't say it's a crisis. Now they say the crisis is we have to figure out which programs to make cuts to. Well, we're going to find out soon enough. The one thing I can tell you, though, is many cities around the United States, not just one, but many cities are facing this crisis together. Because we don't know which cities are going to make it. What we do know is many people moved out of California because taxes became too much. They were too high. They didn't like the policies, what they were discussing, the lockdowns, all those things. People absolutely hated it, so they moved out of California. Many went down to Texas. Guess what? They don't like Texas. They don't like Texas anymore. They want to move away. Here's the problem. They don't have the money. They don't have the ability to move. I was reading a report just the other day that, there's many people that moved into Florida as well. They don't like Florida. They regret the decision to move out of whatever city or state they're in before to move into Florida because of their policies, because of what they're doing, right? Because of hurricanes, because of the weather. All I can tell you right now is major cities all across the United States are bracing for a collapse. It may not be a financial collapse. It may not be a housing collapse. It could be a banking collapse. We don't know, right? It could be a governmental collapse. Again, we don't know. But what I'm here to tell you is you need to be prepared. You need to see all the writing on the wall. Chicago has been in this position for, a couple years, right? Many months for sure, but a couple years where it slowly started to deteriorate. I have a few friends that live in Chicago, one of which who owns a business, and what he was saying is he's trying to move. He's doing whatever he can, sell his house, get out of the city because he cannot stand it. So he's trying to leave. The other one, his employer, where he works, will not transfer him to the other office. The other office is actually in Atlanta. So he's going to go from one major city to another major city. Don't know if things will get better, but we'll find out soon enough. So, just want to leave you with that. Just understand right now, there's a lot of problems that are happening all across the United States, and major U.S. cities are on the verge of collapse. But we're going to find out likely within the next probably about 8 to 10 months which cities are going to be healthy enough and which cities are going to need some, government funding just to get them through. So, as soon as we get more information on that, I promise I will bring you all the latest news and updates. But as of today, that is what we know. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.